On today's special episode of Homeworthy, we're touring 4 fabulous Los Angeles homes that embody effortless style and eclectic flair. First up, a groovy 700 square foot loft bursting with personality, cozy corners, and thrifted treasures. Then, we visit a beautifully renovated home inspired by European design and layered with vintage charm. Next, we explore a cool collected home where antique finds meet the clean lines of mid-century modern design. And finally, we step inside a retro apartment packed with architectural character and funky vintage gems. This summer, spend the hottest months of the year in style with Homeworthy as we visit the most extraordinary homes around the world. From the sun-soaked shores of the Hamptons to the classic beachfronts of Nantucket to the vibrant courtyards of Morocco, be sure to subscribe to Homeworthy's summer series to make every day feel like a vacation. You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
Hi Homeworthy, I'm Ola. Welcome to my 700 square foot apartment in Los Angeles. Come on in.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
Hi, I'm Olamide, but I go by Ola on the internet. I'm a product designer and I also make YouTube videos, and welcome to my 700 square foot apartment in Los Angeles. Long story short is I found my place online. I've been here under a year, and I guess what attracted me to this place is the windows, like the mahogany wood frame, just the bright light in here, the wood floors, the blue kitchen cabinets, the brick wall. There's just like so many interesting, charming pieces about this loft that really attracted me to this space. And the moment that I walked in, I knew that like she was the one. I don't know how to explain it. It's just the energy in here just felt right. It just felt like this was waiting for me. And it just, I don't know how to, I think serendipitous is the right word to say. My design style, I would describe it as eclectic. I like fun, I like bold colors, I like vintage pieces, I like things that tell a story. I like to do secondhand shopping a lot, so most of my pieces are secondhand. And I just like things that just look interesting, that tell a conversation. So when I'm looking at things or picking things, I just want to make sure that like the energy feels right. I hope that doesn't sound woo-woo, but a lot of the things that I pick, it just speaks to me. It feels like we belong to each other. Now we're in the living room area, probably one of my favorite rooms. I'm probably gonna say that for each room, but this is my favorite room, mainly because it's really colorful, it's punchy, it's bold. My favorite piece in here is this couch that I bought off of Facebook Marketplace last year. Immediately when I saw it, I knew that I had to have it. And I just added these throw pillows. Because the color of the couch is this mustard orange stripe, it's vintage. I think it's mid-century from the 60s or the 70s. I can't really place it. Because it's orange, I wanted it to have a complementary color, so that I brought in this blue rug that I bought off of Etsy. And it's a Moroccan rug. It's also another bold piece in my living room, and I just love how they pair off of each other. And then I have these really cute stools that I got from a secondhand store in Silver Lake called Candid Home. Immediately when I first saw these, I was like, I don't want to buy them, but I kept thinking about it for 2 weeks, and I was like, I have to go back and get it. And they're this ostrich green leather, and the owner of Candid Home, she actually reupholstered these. So they're just a fun piece in my space. Some other things that I added are artwork. I have my record player, and then this coffee table. It's actually a clear acrylic, but I added contact paper to it. so that way it doesn't feel so lost in the space. This is probably one of my first upcycle projects. About 4 years ago, I bought the frame of this chair off of OfferUp. It's a Wasili chair. I got it for 30 bucks, and I just knew that I wanted to have like this cow print, something that I saw online. And I took it to an automotive shop and I gave them the cowhide and they reupholstered it for me. I have like these really cool art pieces. I got this off of Facebook Marketplace. It's a barbershop art. It's African barbershop art. I just love the colors in this. And what's so interesting about this is that I don't know if they do this now, but back in the day, they didn't have pictures of photography to show the styles of the hairstyles. So they would commission artists to paint these portraits of what the stylist could do in the shop. And then I also have this. This is one of my favorite Kanye West albums, is My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. It's the album cover art, so I just framed it. So a part of my living room is my office desk. And this is where I make my YouTube videos. It's also where I work from home. And one of my favorite reupholstered projects is this Pollock chair. I bought it off Facebook Marketplace. The leather originally was so tattered, like you couldn't even sit on it. So I had fabric that I bought from downtown LA at the fabric shop. And I took it to a place off of Washington Boulevard and they reupholstered it for me. This is probably one of my favorite projects. I didn't personally do it, but I did commission someone else to do it because it took forever to find someone that could do this chair. And it was just nice. This chair retails for a lot of money and I was able to get a pretty good deal on it. Another thing about my office space here too is some of my favorite plants. I probably will also call all of my plants my favorite plants, but these are my 2 rubber trees. I've had this tree for over 4 years. I've had it and it was like this tall when I first got it. And then this one as well. So I put them together and it just helps create a separation from my office to my dining area. So now we're in the entryway area and I have a really cute lipstick mirror that I spray painted this burgundy red. I also got this console table from OfferUp. I drove out to like Rosemead to go get it. And then I also added this art print that I bought off of Etsy, and I love this mask. I got this at the Melrose flea market. But I just added these things to make this place feel eclectic, modern. I don't really know the particular style, but the elements just felt like they were not like each other, but they also feel like they belonged to each other, if that makes sense. And of course I have this beautiful Tenathi plant. My place is full of plants. I'm a plant mom and they just bring me a lot of light. I think what I enjoy about living in this space is that it forces me to be creative, especially because I live in technically it is a studio because there are no walls. However, the floor plan is designed in a way that it makes obvious sense where things should be laid out. I like the fact that because there's no walls, it makes me become more creative with using plants as separators for the rooms or using rugs to create division between the rooms and making sure that I'm putting things in my place that I feel are really necessary to this space. Like, of course I love to add little small things here and there, but it's just nice to think about like if something really serves a functional purpose in this space. And if it also looks great, that's an added bonus. Some tips I have for living in a small space include making sure that you are putting things in your space that you really love. I love function, but I also like for things to be functional and cute or show a side of my personality. So if I see something that I really like a coffee table, and it's not quite there yet, I will upcycle it in some unique way. But yeah, just be intentional about the things that you like and make sure that it serves a purpose in your space. But then also, if you like something and you don't know where to put it, just buy it because you will find space for it. Some challenges that I've faced living in a small space is having a designated office area because I do work from home. My last place, I did have a separate room specifically for an office, but here I had to just like tuck my desk in a corner, and I don't like the idea of putting my desk in my bedroom, so I knew I had to have it in the living room space area. So that was a challenge. Another challenge of living in a small space is just trying to figure out where to put stuff, because I love to go secondhand shopping, and then sometimes I'm just like, I don't know if I really need this because I already have 3 vases. Do I really need another one? But I will get it and I will like put it on my dining room table or put it on my console table, and I like to move things around so the place always feels fresh to me. All right, so coming from my living room / office area, we're now in my kitchen. So one thing that really attracted me to this loft apartment was the cabinets, like the warm wood floors, the mahogany wood frame, the brick walls. They add a warmness, but the blue cabinets just add like this cool contrast. And I'm not really into contemporary design, but this was it. Also, this area was bare, so then I added these shelves because I wanted places to put my plants and my art and little decor pieces that I have. So these are IKEA shelves, and they are like a MDF board or something, and I just added burl wood contact paper that I got off online. So this art piece, there's a website called A Home Is Announced, and it's a public domain website where you can get free art, and they curated a list for Black art. So I actually printed this at my local library, and I added a frame that I got from the thrift store. That's another thing I love to do, is get frames from thrift stores because you find like really unique ones and it's a really good price. I got this fabric from the Santa Monica flea market, and I just added it to the back just to create like this texture. The white wall was fine, but I didn't know what to do with this. So I was like, why don't I just put it behind a picture? And I just ended up putting it here. Now we are in my dining area. One of my favorite, I guess, secondhand finds are these Marcella Breuer chairs. They're not original. However, the craftsmanship on it, I don't think I can get rid of them. Like the dovetailing on the chairs are just phenomenal. And I guess these are the leather seats, so that way they feel more sturdy. And I got these off of Facebook Marketplace. Literally, the lady posted it and I messaged her. She was like, you're the first person to message me. And she was like, if you get it today, if you get these chairs today, they're yours. So I drove out. This is when I lived in Oakland. I drove out, I want to say like an hour and a half to get these chairs. And immediately when she gave them to me, she deleted the listing because everyone was messaging her about the chairs. Oh, and I love this too. This is another piece that I love. I got this from a brocante or a flea market in Paris last April. This was the vase that I was talking about how I don't need any more vases, but I saw this vase, and initially I wasn't gonna buy it, but I ended up walking the entire flea market. I came back and I was like, I have to have it. This light, I bought this. I feel like a lot of my thrift finds I bought in San Francisco area because I used to live there. I bought this Nielsen lamp off of Facebook Marketplace. The original lamp that was here was just like, I don't want to call it a boob light, but I guess that's I don't know the correct term for the original light that was here, but it was a more contemporary light. And I had this lamp and I just knew that it fit in the space. It just added a charm to the space. So I would highly suggest that if you see a lamp that you like and you're scared of changing the fixture or something like that, definitely turn off the breaker. But there's so many YouTube tutorials to let you know how to change the lights. So if you see something that you really like, just get it, because it will definitely fit your space. Be patient with yourself when installing it. So one last piece of the dining room is this cool piece. It's a cabinet that I've used as a bar cart. I got this again off of Facebook Marketplace. I remember when I was living in the Bay Area, this was in Sacramento, so it was definitely a drive. But then I ended up going to some cool thrift stores after it. So this is probably one of my favorite pieces. I just love the ornate details on it. I've always wanted to make YouTube videos. I make YouTube videos here. Initially I knew I wanted to do something around home, fashion, beauty, those things, because those are my interest. I guess what inspires me to create content like that is, for me, home is like such an important place for me. And I know it's an important place for a lot of people too. But I want such a beautiful space, and I also want other people to feel like they should also have a beautiful space too. I think a big part of why I create content too is because I have so many different ideas that I just want to share with other people who would listen. And I also like the conversation of sharing my ideas, but then also people telling me about their ideas. It just feels like a community online. Through my content creation, my goal is to inspire people to be intentional and to really how to show their best self in their home. Because sometimes we go outside and we want to show our best selves, but sometimes we should also show our best self at home as well. All right, so in my bedroom, my solace, my safe space, I kept it kind of minimal in a sense. So here is this nightstand that I bought from Facebook Marketplace. This is one of my DIYs that I added contact paper. I've had it for a really long time, so now the sun has bleached some parts of it, so it looks kind of muted, but still love this thing. I have this Noguchi inspired lamp here. One thing that I really love to do is when I have coffee table books, as a way to add more art into my space, I like to keep them open. So I will flip to a different page in a book and I'll just open it and have it lay out, just so that way it adds more texture and more interest into my space. And I'm not always having to feel like I need to put things on the wall. All right, so here is a dresser that I bought about 4 years ago at a Habitat for Humanity in Oakland. And this is probably one of my favorite stories to tell, because when I bought this, I did not know how I was gonna get it home. It didn't fit into my car, so I just left it there. Luckily, my friend's father was visiting from out of town, and he had an SUV. So I literally asked her, I was like, hey, could you please ask your dad if he can help me bring this? And he made it work. And I will never not buy a piece just because I can't bring it home because of that. Here is my lacquer room divider. Probably like a top-notch secondhand find that I got last year. I bought it on my birthday last year at a secondhand thrift store in Pasadena. Originally it was $125, but he sold it to me for $100. It is 2 pieces. It's supposed to be one big piece, but it's 2 pieces, and I just never got around to fixing it. But maybe I will fix it, maybe I won't, but right now I just love how it looks in my space. And I have a lot of disco balls in my apartment, mainly because I love the way light refracts on these balls, especially when the sun comes in. You just start seeing like light speckles all around the space, and it just feels like I'm like having a party at home. And I just love how it looks. So I have this huge one, and I also have mini ones around my space. I think what I love about my home is that I feel safe here. I feel like every time I look at something, I'm feeling like I'm looking at something beautiful. Like, I put pictures of my family around. I put beautiful artwork of Black people around, so I feel like I can see a representation of me in my own home. And it just makes me feel so equipped to go outside. to be out in the world because my home just feels so safe to me and I feel so nurtured here. And I guess my favorite room in my apartment probably is my living room, just because it's so colorful and bold. And I love this couch that I'm sitting on. It's probably my favorite piece that I've ever gotten. I secondhand it on Facebook Marketplace and people ask me about it all the time. And I remember asking so many friends like, hey, should I get this couch? And they're like, no, you shouldn't get it. But I just followed my gut and got it anyways. But yeah, it's one of my favorite things to look at too. And I love the color of it as well. The best compliment is that this place feels like you, or this place looks like you. Home means to me a place of rest, but also a place to truly be authentic, to be my best self, my worst self, my beautiful self, my ugly self, like all versions of me. And feeling like that makes me feel like I'm safe because of that. Like I can show up at home in any way as possible and I still feel accepted in my space. Home feels like something that I feel like I was always yearning for, what that meant or what that meant to me. But I realize home is what I can create. I can create a beautiful space. I can create magical moments in my home, whether I'm by myself or inviting people over. And home just feels like something that I love. And when people come over, I also want them to feel loved and appreciated as well. Thank you, Homeworthy, for stopping by. Well, I got stuff to do, so I'll see you later. Bye.
Hi, Homeworthy. I'm Maya.
I'm Dustin. Welcome to our home in Los Angeles.
Come on in. We'll show you around.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
Hi, I am Maya Brenner, and I am a jewelry designer.
I'm Dustin Lancaster, and I'm a restaurateur and hotelier.
And welcome to our home in Silver Lake, California. We had only been living together for about a year, and we were renting in the Los Feliz area. And our house was actually robbed, and it was such a terrible, invasive feeling. We were already looking for a place to buy, but that really sped up the process in terms of what we wanted to find and move to.
We looked at dozens and dozens of places all over the east side. We knew we wanted to sort of be in the Silver Lake, Los Feliz neighborhood, and we looked and looked and looked, and then our broker called us one day and said, there's this house that has been in escrow for several months and it just fell out today. Do you want it? And we raced over here and we walked down the driveway, and we didn't even come to the house. We walked outside and kind of went down to the pool area. And as soon as it was like the space, the exterior space and everything. And then when we came inside, we did a quick tour. It was very 80s, kind of pretty bad.
A lot of work.
Pretty bad inside.
But and you were the one who, because
he had
redone so many, restaurants and bars. He's
that's what I do.
I can do this.
So I was like, this is it. I think we were pretty quick. We walked out and we called the broker and we said, make an offer now. I think we were the very first people to make an offer right after it fell out of escrow. And we wrote a letter.
Yeah, I had 2 kids at the time who were 5 and 8. I had gone through a divorce. I had moved them a few times because we were renting each time, and we kept having to move. And so for me, I just felt like I wanted a place to call home. We were blending our lives, and this was going to be a big step for us. And I think I just poured all of that emotion into the letter, and it worked.
We got it.
I was married before, I was going through divorce. I was a 42-year-old single mom and didn't know what that meant in Los Angeles for the dating pool. And I went out to dinner with a good friend of mine, Claire Vivier, who's a handbag designer, and we had done a sample sale together. This was 12 years ago. And we went to dinner at Dustin's restaurant, and he came over, he knew Claire.
Eleni Oyster Bar in Silver Lake.
Yep, he had been a bartender before in the neighborhood and had known Claire for years, and he came over and we said hello, and we remembered that we had had a conversation 2 years prior that we both remembered.
At another one of my places, another one of my bars.
Yeah, and there was definite sparks, and so I went back in a few weeks later and we had another conversation, and it was just an instant connection. We couldn't really fight it, even though on paper we didn't make any sense. I was 42, he was 32. I had 2 young kids. He didn't have kids. His schedule was like very, late at night, bar, restaurant hours. I got up early with my kids for school. Everyone kind of thought we were crazy. He was supposed to be like my rebound, after my divorce, but we both kind of say it was the closest thing to love at first sight that we've ever experienced. Welcome to the main living area of our home. We don't have a formal entryway. You just kind of walk in the door and bam.
Hits you right off the bat.
You're here. But we kind of call this the
sitting room, living room.
Again, this is kind of our eclectic mix of stuff. This couch I have had for, probably 15 years. It's survived 3 kids. This fabric is actually Sunbrella fabric, which I thought was really smart when I first had it made, and it has withstood the test of time. I've redone these cushions with this kind of denim. I kind of liked that boho vibe, and then I added some fun, more colorful cushions to break it up. These are from a really nice design house in LA called Decor.
These we picked up in Palm Springs. We were on a little getaway and we went into a vintage shop, and we just loved these. That artwork is the very first piece of art we bought together, I think, right? We were, for this home at least.
Yeah, we were downtown at a really unique store, and we both were immediately drawn to it. The scale, the color, we loved it. It was like our first investment piece together.
Yeah. If you follow me this way, I'll show you to my specialty, the bar area. We went and picked out a really, really beautiful piece of marble, and Maya was really drawn to the sort of this pinkish hue with these purple veins. And when we tried to get a paint, we went through about 3 or 4 paint swatches to get the right paint. And it's just when you're hosting and entertaining, you got to have a nice bar set up where people can make themselves at home and pour themselves a drink. And then as you go up, you just see the things from our travels, from Portugal. Maya, I don't even know where you got these seashells, but there's Jack when he was a baby, and a lot of our book collection, and Sadie up there. This takes you on a little tour and inventory of our life here.
So I'm going to jump in here because we love to host people. Dustin is a wine expert, so he's got a lot of special bottles that he keeps
vintage.
In here. I don't touch them without asking him, because I sometimes, if like a friend comes over, I would pull out like a really special one.
Yeah, like if you open some of like these 1970, let's see.
Oh, didn't you get me a bottle?
Yeah, that was a birthday year bottle, 1968. This is a 1980. This is my birth year, BV. These are some really quite pricey wines, so you can't just jump in here and go at them. But cocktail-wise, Maya is a big Aperol Spritz fan. We do that a lot.
Yeah, I love a vodka martini. East Side is my favorite, so sometimes we'll have that set up. And if you don't know what an East Side martini is, it is vodka, lime, cucumber, mint, and a little splash of simple syrup.
She has to tell the servers at the restaurant that a lot. When she's
Yeah.
like, they can make it,
It's
I'm
my
sure.
favorite. It's so good. Look it up. It's delicious.
Yeah.
And then in terms of like what this used to be, this was a really, really weird
Yeah.
setup. So the door to the bathroom that I'm about
yeah.
to show you was actually here.
Not here.
Not there, here. And so this was just like a little step into the bathroom. And so you walked through the door here.
There was a shower.
And I'm going to take you into the bathroom to show you. So you walked in this way, and this corner was actually a plastic shower. This was where the shampoo went. You can see that. So we completely redid this bathroom. I love this wallpaper. It just feels like it's a vibe as soon as you walk in. It reminds me almost like Beverly Hills Hotel-ish, like you're on vacation. I love shells. So everywhere we go, we collect all kinds of shells. I've thrown some crystals in here, but shells is something I've done with like all of my kids on beach vacations, and it's really a nice thing to bring back for memories. A lot of this is all original, but we updated the sink and the toilet, and you know, this is just fun also little eclectic pieces that I love. I thought the black toilet was a nice piece to kind of make it disappear a little bit in the room. And then the floors were originally the same wood as the rest of the house. But again, we just kind of wanted an instant vibe when you walked into this guest bathroom. And so we painted the floors in here. But yeah, people love this bathroom, and it's just kind of like a fun take on, because this room is so light and then this room is kind of like dark and vibey, which I love.
We have a 7-year-old, so when you have kids, you have to have toys, and instead of having your toys strewn about your entire space, we actually bought this Amsterdam Modern. This is a I believe it's a Danish gym, almost like a pommel horse piece. And so this is where we keep all the toys and art projects and games. There's a Claire Vivier bag. Books, just so that, they're out of sight, but he can easily access them. Super fun, easy trick for hiding your kids' toys and not keeping them in the middle of your space. This is actually a little piece of history from a hotel I did several years ago in the Arts District in downtown. This chair was designed by Sally Breer, who is an Architectural Digest 8100 designer. She's super, super talented. I've worked with her on 2 hotels and a French bistro I have in Chinatown called Oriel. She's a really, really talented designer. And this wallpaper is leftover wallpaper. If you get in there, it's a duck. It's sort of this like very vintage duck hunting vibe. We had extra from this hotel that I did, and so I brought it, and this column had to stay. Even when we were opening the kitchen here, the contractor said, you can't take this out. And so instead of it just being a boring white column, we wrapped it with vintage wallpaper to just give it a sort of a funky, fun,
Yeah, I love this wallpaper. So if you can imagine, the wall extended all the way out here. Mm-hmm. So the kitchen wall went to here, and then
it kept going.
Yeah, and then it also came. There was like an island that came from here all the way to here. That was wood and very old and just not very practical.
Yeah, it was part of that 80s, very 80s tile, backsplash, old.
Yeah. We did the most work.
Yeah, we
gutted the kitchen.
Yeah, none of this was here.
Took it all out. And we basically worked with IKEA to design all of the internal
guts
parts. They're so good at, you know, the drawers and the that light up, and
Yeah.
they're just really, really
Yeah.
smart about kitchens, but we didn't love the fronts of the cabinets.
So there was a company.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot now. Back then when we were doing this house, like, you know,
There's
10
like
years ago,
one
there
or two
wasn't
people.
as many. This color is actually not the original color. The original color was like a light blue. And we liked it for a while, but I don't know, after like 5 to 7 years.
Yeah. You want to change.
Yeah, we wanted to go darker, and we immediately agreed on this color.
Yeah, we really, really wanted an open kitchen, an open floor plan, a big island that people gather around. I mean, we spend so much time hanging out in here with the kids and with friends. It seems to be the place that everyone congregates, like in a lot of houses. But
these shelves we originally had. I loved the idea of having some open shelving. These are from
Room and Board.
Room and Board, and I loved the dark wood. Originally, it was on a plaster wall, and we lived like that for a long time, but it was always my dream to tile this kitchen. And I dreamed and I dreamed and I dreamed, and finally, we just did this like 6 months ago. I loved this tile from Clay. It looks like sequins to me almost, the color and the shimmer, and also the fact that they're so small. These are the 2 by 2 inch, and the way that they install it is without grout. It's like a very like Moroccan, old vintage, like European farmhouse kind of vibe. And like this, I love it. I love the way it turned out. We had one guy in the kitchen working for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Almost 3 weeks.
It's a very slow process, but worth it. I love the way it turned out. I think it just elevates the entire kitchen. It's like the first thing you see when you walk in. Different times of day, the light hits it, and it's
almost iridescent.
Yeah, I call it like jewelry for the wall, which is, you know, perfect for me because that's my thing. But yeah, it really changed the whole feel of the kitchen for me. Again, I love to like add a little boho. My friend had a moving sale. I just like ran over there and like bought all of her rugs because I just feel like a rug adds so much to a space, especially one like this, which is really bright and colorful. It just makes like this space pop. You can tell right away that it's, you know, there's something more going on than just, you know, a regular kitchen. Again, like the boho, colorful, whimsical, kind of fun vibe that I want my house to have. I just feel like this is perfect for it. And normally I wouldn't put, you know, such a nice rug in the kitchen, but, you know, because it was used and it was a good price, I feel like it works.
And now if you want to follow us, we'll take you over here to the dining room. As soon as we got inside the house, the kitchen was closed off. There was 2 decks. There was no light coming in the front. There was like an old kind of bookshelf library. It just felt lots of bad tile from the 80s, bathrooms, blue tile, old showers. Everything was just a little dark and drab, and yeah, it definitely had not had an update in at least 30.
Yeah, the floors in our bedroom, when you walked through, they were cushiony. It was like the foundation didn't exist.
Yeah.
It was almost like trampoline. But the light, the ceilings, the skylights, everything, even with all of sort of the bad design, everything just felt really good. The energy of the house.
The bones and the soul of it were there. But there was a problem in that we had 2 kids, and this was actually a 2-bedroom house, and then they had a rumpus room downstairs, which was literally permitted as a rumpus room. And it was not attached. So you had to go around the house and walk downstairs to enter a separate doorway. So we knew in order to give our oldest son a room, we had to include it. So that was actually the most construction we had to do was turn a porch into a stairwell that was interior that would connect his room to the actual house.
So the home is very eclectic. I think that comes from both of us. I'm from Berkeley, California. He's from Oklahoma. We have different upbringings, you know, different kind of styles, but it comes together in a really beautiful mix of high, low, country, hippie.
Yeah.
You know, we both love vintage. We both love really unique finds. Every time we travel, we bring something home, a piece of art, a vase.
We're both very high-low, right? So there's some like very nice designer furniture and pieces and artwork, but then it's also, this is kind of a ranch house style architecture. And so there is a bit of almost a Southwestern vibe and flair to it. So yeah, we definitely sort of melded several designs.
Yeah.
I'm originally from Oklahoma. I moved out here in the late 90s to go to art school at Cal Arts. Graduated, moved to Los Feliz immediately, loved the east side of LA. I started working at a really cool French restaurant called Cafe Stella. It's been here for 30 years. And didn't really want to be in the restaurant industry, didn't know much about it, but I started bartending there and worked my way up to bar manager and learned how to do a sort of ordering and inventory and all of this stuff. And I thought after a few years there, wow, I think I could maybe do this. So I actually took a UCLA extension class in developing a business plan, and I came out of it and I went to two of my buddies and I said, I think we should open this bar. And we opened up Covell 15 years ago, and it was kind of an instant hit. And so then we opened up L&E and Hermosillo, and then I just kind of would open like one or two a year for the last decade. And so now I'm about to open my 13th or 14th here in a couple weeks. And I've been very fortunate to have places that people have really responded to over the years, and I love what I do, and I think I'm fortunately pretty good at it, and so we've had a lot of fun doing these, and it's great time. What about you?
My story is windy too. It's funny that both of us came into our careers from different ones. I always loved jewelry. Like from the time I was a little girl, I would like take apart my mom's turquoise hippie jewelry. But I always thought it was a hobby and not a career. So I moved to New York City. I went to graduate school for social work. I had, a very serious job. And at night, I would make necklaces to calm my nerves from like the stress of the pressure of this job. And I started getting stopped on the street, like, oh, who made your necklace? And I'd be like very shy and embarrassed, like, oh, I did. And a store actually asked me to make some jewelry for them, and I did. And then another store, and I still had my full-time job, but I was doing both. And then I just decided that I really, really loved jewelry more than the career that I had chosen. And fortunately or unfortunately, as a social worker in the 90s in New York City, I wasn't making that much money. So in terms of how many necklaces I had to sell to make up for my social work salary, it wasn't that much. And I got a small loan from my grandmother of $3,000, and I quit my job. And the rest is her story.
So here we are in our dining room, which is, again, just off the kitchen, which makes it super easy for hosting, getting plates and stuff out. This used to have track lighting, with the cans. And so we got rid of those, and I found a very sort of modern European fixture that online that I really loved, and I sort of just got a nice kind of pop of color there.
I love this color. It's so unique. It's like a rust brown, but just kind of blends. I didn't want something that like took over the space because it's not a huge space. So this table I've had for a long time. I brought this into the relationship. I love that it's like the size and heavy industrial.
It takes like 3 or 4 guys to move it because this is solid concrete. This is, you know, solid steel, and then this is solid concrete.
Yeah, it's kind of different than normally like what I would be drawn to, but I softened it with these really cool like cane chairs that are both light in color and also like light in design that I love. They're really comfortable, which was important to me. And then I threw in this other style just also kind of for fun, just to make them so that it wasn't like too matchy. And we spend a lot of time at this table, obviously. Yeah. And again, you know, this table is very sort of industrial and heavy, but I love adding some color and feminine touches. I'm very into crystals, just, you know, being from Berkeley, it's in my blood. And so this is also just like a fun thing for our son. He loves to look at them and touch them and play with them. These are my favorite candles from Flamingo Estates. It smells like heirloom tomato. I burn these all the time. This is another example of just like a fun thing that I saw on vacation and I just loved. I'm just like drawn to the iridescent and the rainbow. If you come over here, this is actually a print from my grandfather. His name was Brenner, and he was a sculptor in Paris. It is a print of like a replica of an outdoor sculpture that he made. So if you look at the scale and the size of this is a person, and then this is the sculpture, and this is a close-up of one of the panels. And it's really special to me. He lived in Paris my whole life. I wasn't that close with him, but I feel a connection just in terms of like an artist, designer. I feel like maybe some of that was passed on to me. But there's a number of pieces of his throughout the house that I'll point out. I'm a big like Etsy shopper, and I love things that feel old school or vintage or handmade. And so I found this Turned Down for What, which I just thought was so funny because it's like a rap song, but on like an old embroider piece. And I like things like that just again are just kind of different, whimsical, fun pieces that you wouldn't expect, like the unexpected. So when we have people over, we usually sort of hang out in here initially.
Spread
We'll
both
always
sides.
have cheese. I love cheese. Gotta have cheese. So like cheese and charcuterie, olives, little nibbles, some drinks.
Lots of wine throughout over here on the bar.
I'm not the best cook. I can make, some simple things. So usually we'll either bring in something from one of Dustin's restaurants or we'll order in, and that way it's not so stressful. You have time to actually like hang out with your guests and not, have to worry about it too much.
We love a good champagne and caviar New Year's. It's kind of a tradition. We have a lot of people over, do lots of caviar and champagne.
Yeah, special occasions.
I want to show you one other feature that we added to the house. This was just a bookshelf, and we really love the indoor-outdoor flow. And so we installed these sliding doors on both sides so that you can open these up really easy, and it really makes it feel so nice and warm and inviting to do this here. And it's like, Southern California, we are, and it's kind of like this year round. And you get this beautiful indoor-outdoor, and you can do it on both sides. And it really is just the most comfortable, flow you can imagine.
So we're gonna come into more of like the family TV room. We also do spend a lot of time in here. We have the Togo sofa, which low to the ground, easy for the little kids. Not so easy for our moms to get up and
it's very
down
low.
from. The pillows are Sarah Sherman Samuel. I love her like fun fabrics. She actually redesigned my office downtown before I moved, and I was really sad to have to leave that space during COVID because I love her style and styling. This is a chair I've had for a long time. This was vintage, and then I recovered it with this Christian Dior like embroidered fabric that I love. I love embroidery. I love things that have texture and color. This is our pizza table. It's really, really special because obviously it's called pizza because
Everyone pulls it to them, yeah.
Move them around, but I love this piece, and this is like one of the pieces that when people come over, they're really interested in. And it's just like, again, withstood a lot of kids and a lot of eating and popcorn and stuff out here.
The artwork, that was a gift. You bought me this Slim Aarons, very, very famous Slim Aarons photo. It was one of my favorite photographers for a birthday or Christmas, I can't remember, many years ago. And this one we loved. We bought this together in Santa Fe, New Mexico. It's so hard to see the detail. You'd have to zoom in so much, but we love this sort of massive print for such a small detail of a cowboy riding a bucking bronco there, but it's a really, really cool piece. Maya knows I had wanted this chandelier. I had been trying to get this chandelier for years, and it's a really, really kind of famous Italian designer from the 60s. And I finally got it last year, earlier this year. And it's a super fun piece, really. I think helps tie the room together.
Because again, there was track lighting.
Yeah, there's track lighting in here previously.
You really didn't like.
Not my style, not my thing. I actually am quite a big fan of pink. I had an office that was pink many years ago, but we definitely wanted to, I don't know, give it a little bit of a pop, true accent wall. So we went with just a very, 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 very light pink. And you can only sort of see the difference when you look in the corner, because when you're staring at it straight on, it kind of just almost blends
you
in.
Almost don't.
Yeah, but when you see it in the corners where it changes from the white.
And then if you move up here, you can see we also did some wallpaper up here. Again, it was just a white area that we also felt could use just like a fun pop of something. We didn't want it to be too much, and so we found this wallpaper and just loved it. And we feel like it just gives like the right amount of pop. This is a scarf that I found, and I don't really like wear scarves like this, but I thought how beautiful it was. I don't know, I was drawn to it for some reason, and I never would have worn it as a scarf, but I love the idea of framing it and having it be like a bold piece in the room. And again, I love the colors. I love that it looks vintage. It isn't necessarily. And then this is my favorite picture of our family, the kids and us. And I mean, Otis just looks so cute, standing there. He kind of just like brought all of us together. He's just such a joy.
And over here on the other wall, we have the fireplace and the TV. This was brick. This was a brick color that we just kind of felt was a little boring. So as original mantle and brick, we painted this white first.
Yeah, we did.
And it was all white. And then that lived like that for a few years. And then we went with this, it's actually called soot. ironically, S-O-O-T. And we really think that it's just a kind of a fun thing. And then it really gets a nice pop with this brass. I'm not sure, you know, I've had this, people love this, they talk about it all the time. I've had it for years, and I'm not sure its origin except that it is vintage. But it's very, very cool, sort of peacocky Asian motif. And oh, here's another one of your grandfather's pieces.
He actually died, and a lot of his estate was sort of spread out. So I have actually like gone online and tried to find some of his pieces. And so I bought this on eBay. All of the crystals are mine. I'm just very much drawn to them. The stained glass was a gift from Dustin one Christmas. Again, I love handmade things that feel special. I think we bought these.
Also in Santa Fe.
Yeah, in Santa Fe. Again, Dustin and I are just very much drawn to the same art pieces. It's kind of wild that our tastes are so similar.
Crystals over here.
More crystals. I love this piece. This is taken by a friend who we went to school with, and he is an underwater photographer. And so he took pictures of all the kids in Jack's class. And I got this one blown up and framed. And it's super special to me. We've got a record player, which is fun. More shells, always collecting shells. And then if you come over here, I have sort of the biggest crystals that I own, you know, all together. And again, these are just pieces that I'm drawn to. This was a gift from Dustin one Christmas, and that kind of started the whole collection. And the kids know, you know, to be careful with them, mama's crystals. So I would say that my approach to decorating is very similar to my approach to designing jewelry. I want everything to be approachable. When I design jewelry, I want there to be a versatility, a comfortability. The design that I'm most known for is our asymmetrical letter necklace. It's personalized, and it starts with a position on the side of your neck that's asymmetrical and kind of unexpected and whimsical and different. And I think that's also what I'm looking for when I'm designing my home. I want things to feel unique, personal, something that is versatile and wearable, approachable. I don't want anything to feel too fancy, that you can't touch it, that you can't use it. And, you know, again, like we have kids, we cannot have a home that you cannot get messy in. And the jewelry that I design is the same. It's meant to be always worn, never taken off, to live in. And I think that this house is also very livable.
Very similar to our dining room, we have some more indoor-outdoor flow. So we will give you a shot of our outdoor porch. You can really feel the light and airy vibes out here. We're sort of elevated, perched in the Silver Lake Hills. Our oldest daughter comes out here every morning and has breakfast right here, sort of overlooking the pool and our beautiful yard. We have a chicken coop down here, basketball court, trampoline. And as we said earlier, this was the very first thing. We walked down steps over there, and this was what hooked us on this house. We immediately were taken in as soon as we saw this outdoor area. And if you want, we can take a trip downstairs. This used to be stucco, and about 4 years ago, we fell in love with an idea we had seen online with this redwood clad siding. And so we hired a team to wrap our entire house with this redwood. And I mean, it really changed the entire feel of the outside exterior of the house. And especially when this is the original natural sort of rock, and these two play together so nice. And we I mean, you can, if you get a shot up there of the patio, I mean, it really is such a warm vibe of the whole house. So much greenery. Maya hired a really great team of landscapers who came in and sort of reworked. There was a lot to begin with, but now we have an actual Shangri-La here.
There's a lot of hardscaping, and I wanted to break up a lot of the brick with green, and we worked together to just do a really California natural vibe that would just blend, not too fancy, no flowers or roses or anything like that, but just real natural greenery to be out here. This is interesting because there was a lot of bamboo in
sort
the
of
backyard.
Like how that's back there.
And this entire area was a huge thing of bamboo that we wanted taken out. And as soon as we lifted it, there was a
hole. There's a pit.
Gaping hole. And we had an above ground trampoline at our rental house. And we kind of looked at each other and thought, let's do an indoor trampoline. We had seen this somewhere
this is a
before.
hit. The in-ground trampoline is quite a hit.
Again, you can see why now all of Otis's friends want to come over here.
And behind you we have a chicken coop. We have 2 chickens. Oh, we had some food, but this is nice. We get eggs. We have more eggs. We never buy eggs. They each lay one about a day, one every other day. So plenty of chickens. There's 2 chickens. This one's Cookie because Otis's favorite cookie is an Oreo cookie, and this kind of looks like an Oreo. And then there's a red chicken in there named Basket. Again, when you let 4-year-olds, I think he was 4 at the time we got him, name chickens, those are the names you get.
Over here, we have this woven hammock. This is Heather Taylor for West Elm. She's a friend of mine. I love supporting friends and collaborations. And I love that it looks like, you could be on like vacation in Tulum. I love crochet items like this. I don't get to sit here very often because of work and kids, but someday. I really wanted a fountain.
Water piece, a water feature.
Yeah.
This is from Restoration Hardware. But just that sound it helps sort of give you some tranquil vibes. And probably the biggest highlight or the most used part of our outdoor area would be our pool. The pool was actually here. So when we came down these steps and saw us, we were like, wow, that's a big pool. It was also, I think it was built in the 60s. It was all the original coping and inside. So we actually did drain it. And we added a hot tub and new steps and shelving and a Baja shelf to make it just a lot more, current.
The color was really important to us too. We took a lot of time trying to find this like Bermuda lagoon. Yeah. We wanted it to be dark. Obviously the original one was
white,
very light,
like
plaster.
white plaster.
And we wanted to like deepen the color.
And so we actually had a pool guy say that we could go visit one of his past clients to see this color that we liked. As we drove to their house, they were luckily in Silver Lake, and we drove over to their house and we're like, hey, thanks for letting us take a look at your pool.
See your pool
we took a look at their pool and we were like, that's it, that's the color we want. And so we dove in. Here's a story that we have not been able to confirm or deny, but was told to us by the broker when we bought this house, that you never see pools this big. And this was here, this sort of built-in seating area and kind of picnic area. And so this is all original brick in here. And while we're going back in history, we were also told that our house was the first document on record with LA is that it was a hunting lodge in 1910 when all of these hills were just hills and no homes, and this was the very first hunting lodge over here in Silver Lake that they would use to hunt deer
I would say for decorating, we both have
We each
such
bring
a
something.
hand in
Yeah.
it. Fortunately, we really agree
Yes.
on almost everything.
Well.
I can't really think of something that we fought about doing this house. He has really, really good taste for a man. I always joke that, like, a lot of times when you move in with a guy, he brings like his, black lacquer TV stand. And Dustin had some like really, really great pieces as like a young single guy, which was so surprising.
Yeah, we both love like wallpaper and, these are like reupholstered block shop textile, vintage chairs, vintage.
Yeah, we love like European feel, paint colors. We love Faro and Ball.
Yeah.
We love vintage mixed
Earthy.
with some sleek stuff.
Yeah, it's a collaboration,
Yeah,
for sure.
for sure.
There's no one person that makes the executive decision.
Like we said earlier, when we moved in, it was a 2-bedroom and we had 2 kids and us. So we had to, create the bedroom for my older son. And then since then, we've also had another child.
Otis was born 7 years ago.
Yeah, so we had to build another room. And so it's really just a lovely place to live.
Grow with us and expand. And we have a guest house on the other side of the property for when the grandmas visit or other people in town. And it's we host a lot of parties with we have a ton of pool parties in the summer. It's got a little bar and barbecue setup down there, and so it's a good indoor
like a natural
outdoor flow. Yeah. And now we're going to take you into the guest house. So this was just a shed, like literally just a shed. And we turned it into this.
It had no windows, no bathroom. It was cut off here, so it was just a square. And I can't believe we actually had people sleep out here.
Before it was this?
In a windowless, bathroomless.
Yeah, I think they used it as a tool shed and we turned it into a guest house. So yeah, as you said, it was a rectangle with no light, no windows, maybe one little, and we had a crew come in and pitch the roof, add this extension, create this tiny little nook. You have here, again, always we love the wallpaper, vintage sconces. We got it. Is it a place called L7? Yeah, on Melrose.
The couch. What's it?
Chesterfield. Chesterfield sofa. We bought it on Craigslist.
Yeah. Yep.
This is again block shop textiles. We love their work.
Have to have the massage
chair.
Massage chair. It is.
It's a hit. People love. We've had parties before. And we'll lose a guest for a little while. We'll come in here and find them sitting in the massage chair
it's a good
for the last 30 minutes. This is actually Rejuvenation, but Rejuvenation has a vintage collection. And this was so there's just one-off vintage collection. And this was, I don't know, we felt kind of like spaceship orbital. And we loved it for sort of this pine wood ceiling.
And this was an interesting choice for us. We wouldn't normally carpet, like wall-to-wall carpet, but we wanted the room to feel
a little
warm, almost like a hotel room studio. And we loved this color. And again, we used the same window person as inside for some of the other details. Again, we wanted it to feel a little special, European.
And then lastly, we have the bathroom that we fully installed, restoration hardware, sink vanity, and then we tiled and a little custom tile job with the chevron pattern.
And that's it for the guest house. You're welcome to come stay anytime.
And now I'll let Maya show you the bedroom.
All right, now I'm going to show you our primary bedroom. We didn't do too much work to this space. We added the wood siding and painted it white just to kind of break up some of the wall space. This is a vintage bench that I had recovered in silk stripe. It's kind of been in every different room in our house, including this one. This is a collection of just everything that kind of represents me. The color, the shells, the crystals, each of these pieces collected either on vacation or, picked up somewhere special. My mom actually made this from driftwood. She is super creative and loves to craft. The watercolors are my best friend from 6th grade. Her sister made those and I loved them. The stitching is from a friend of mine who makes these really clever vintage feeling things, but with really amazing modern day sayings. And I loved that piece. So our bed, the linens are a mix of parachute, home, and Moro soft goods. The room tends to be a little dark, so I love using light linens. Dustin and I share a closet, and that transition, we couldn't really have a door here just because of where it's set up, but we didn't want it wide open, so we found these like saloon doors on Etsy, which I thought were kind of fun. So follow me into the closet. So originally the closet ended here, and obviously this was not enough space for a fashionista like myself. So we had a little extra space behind the house. So we actually built this room, and I had California closets come in and we designed it together. So shoes, I love denim, obviously, bags, hats. My grandmother used to say that I loved anything that started with an A dress, a hat, a bag, and she was right. Just like with jewels, I love a little sparkle. So I love a sequin dress. I just wore this to the Sphere in Vegas. It was super fun and amazing. And I don't really wear a lot of heels or fancy shoes, but I do have these Gucci gold shoes, and I feel like they're just the perfect shoe for me. They're not too high, they're comfortable, and gold, of course, for me. Who doesn't love gold? So coming from the closet, I'm going to take you right into our primary bathroom. We completely redid this and gutted it, added the shower. The tub is from Signature Hardware. The vanity is custom. We did the tile not in any kind of pattern. We wanted it to feel random, which it is. And then this area over here is my jewelry. I kind of have jewelry everywhere, all over. So obviously I'm a jewelry designer. I have a lot of jewelry. I keep a lot at my office, but this is my collection that I personally sort of rotate each day. This is a great organizer we sell on our website. Bracelets, rings, necklaces. I have a few necks for display. These are travel cases. I always travel with these, and so I keep some jewels in there and little trinkets and trays. And each thing is just, again, like kind of a special piece that I've picked up here and there. The most special pieces to me right now are my crystal collaboration. This is called the Retreat necklace, and I designed this with a good friend, Abigail Spencer, and we're both really into crystals. And they come in different colors, and then each crystal has a different property that is meaningful or has like a connection to the person wearing it. And I just feel such a connection to it. This one's called In Flow, and I've been wearing this one a lot, and I use it as kind of like a touchstone throughout the day to just remind me to breathe and calm. She came up with a really fun tagline that says, a crystal necklace so every day can be your retreat. And then we call it a piece to protect your peace. Okay, and now, last but not least, my very favorite room in the entire house. I call it my sanctuary. And this room initially did not exist in the house. If you were standing here, you would have been outside in the front of our house. But when Otis was born, we didn't have a bedroom for him. So this was initially built as a nursery. It was the perfect size for him, crib, changing table, but obviously it was off of our bedroom, so not ideal once he started getting older. So when our oldest son went to college, we kind of rotated everybody's rooms. And then this was kind of like a home office / hangout room, but didn't really have any special aspects to it. And so I came up with this idea to cover the entire room with fabric after seeing this at a boutique in Paris. And I just fell in love with it and I couldn't stop thinking about it. And so I set about trying to find somebody who could help me bring this vision to life. And I found Joanna Williams in LA. She has a store and she works with lots of fabrics and different types of materials. And she was super excited to work with me. And so we picked out this fabric. It's from Schumacher. And it just has this kind of like beaded, woven design that I thought was perfect. I didn't want too small of a repeat pattern. And I wanted it to feel like a cocoon. So if you close these curtains, you're just surrounded. I needed to pick a fabric that I was never going to tire of, and this is it. And I basically covered as much as I could in this fabric, including these sconces that were from West Elm. They were just white originally. The chandelier is from Rejuvenation. Same with the table and the pillows. They worked with me a bit on the room. And I love, again, it just feels like jewelry for the home with the gold accents. The daybed was actually given to me. A friend was getting rid of it. It didn't work in her modern home. So I grabbed it and covered it with the fabric as well. These stools I had and then just recovered them. And I spend a lot of time in here. I like to read, talk to my friends on the phone or hang out with them in person. I was very purposeful with not putting a desk in here. I didn't want it to feel like a home office. I never call it a home office. I usually just refer to it as my sanctuary. Again, kind of back to the high-low. I wanted an interesting bookcase, but I didn't want to spend a lot of money on it. This is from Wayfair, and every piece in here is special to me. Obviously, family pictures. I've just always loved this sculpture of a woman just kind of like giving thanks to the world. Shells, definitely a theme. This, I walked into a store when I was pregnant with Otis and I knew I was having a boy, and I don't know, I was just instantly drawn to it. And then I thought, wow, it really represents like me and Dustin and our baby boy. And I've just loved that piece. This is a picture of my grandmother, who I mentioned earlier. She was quite a woman, a fashionista. And she died about 10 years ago. And these are actually her ashes, some of them. And it looked really hard to find something that would be beautiful and kind of do this amazing woman justice. And I love this piece, and I love having her close. Again, crystals, shells. This is my mom. Yeah, and I love putting together little collections like this. And this bookcase, this room, this space just makes me really happy. So the word home to me means love. It means safety. It means happiness and food and gathering.
Yeah, all of those things, I think for me, it probably number one means stability. I moved around a ton when I was little, like 12 times before I was in 6th grade, moved around. And I think that you don't realize it until you're older, an adult, and it's like I want stability for not just us, but also for our kids. I think it's really important and nice to be able to have one place that you know feels like home and means that to you. So that's kind of what it means to me personally.
Yeah, and I think that we make our home very open and welcoming and inviting. We, had tweens when we moved in, and then they were teenagers, and like this was the house that all of their friends wanted to be at and hang out. And we always have, a stocked fridge and pantry and the pool, and we always really welcomed all of our kids' friends. Yeah. And now Otis, who is in 1st grade, this is also the house. Like his friends want to come and they search for bugs outside and they go swimming and they jump on the trampoline, and it's just such a nice feeling to have this be the place that all of our kids and our friends and our family want to.
Yeah, everyone remembers, you always remember your friends' houses, or maybe you had that house, but like the house that you went to when you were young, and like we want to be that house, and it's nice to be that house.
All right, Homeworthy, it's been great having you at our home, but
we gotta go. Bye-bye.
Hi Homeworthy, I'm Robert Gigliotti, and welcome to my home in Los Angeles. Come take a look.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
Hi, I'm Robert Gigliotti. We're in Los Angeles, California, and I am a model/content creator. Proudly, it's a new transition for me for doing this full time. I graduated college, worked a 9 to 5, and now I'm my own boss, which is really fun. We are in the heart of Los Angeles in an old Spanish style home, but it was renovated, I would say, in the 90s, but they did it the right way. There's some spots you'll see that are for box TVs or random things like that. But when I moved in here, it was a white box, cool toned white paint on every single wall. The old tenant had kids. There were stickers everywhere. It was rough, and I transformed it, and I'm really proud of what I made it into. But yeah, I've been here for almost 2 years renting, and I really love the charm I've been able to add. And mostly every single thing is thrifted, which I love. To take my apartment from a place that was just all white and add charm back into it, I use paint, and more paint. There's a cabinet full of probably 100 paint samples, which they're like $7 each. So that's probably the most expensive thing in my house is the paint. I painted the trims, the bookcases, the ceilings, the walls, pretty much every single thing has been painted in here. And I really love that, as well as swapping light fixtures and just bringing in new pieces, old pieces, and just things I really love. When you walk in, you walk up this flight of stairs, and it's pretty open concept to the living room, dining, and kitchen. But at the top of the stairs, I have this little entryway table, and this is one of my favorite Facebook Marketplace finds. I don't think they knew they were giving me an almost $4,000 piece for $150, but I'm not complaining. This is Herman Miller. I really love it. It's for the keys, the sunglasses. I always have chap lips. There's a drawer dedicated to chapstick. And yeah, just a plant, mirror, and a fun little mid-century light. And these walls were all white, and the trim was all white. I painted it all by myself. It took weeks. It took weeks. So it just opens up into my living room. So welcome to the living room. And here is one of my other favorite secondhand finds, my couch. And if people think that's gross, sorry, I cleaned it. It's clean and I love it. And then I do have a biggest life regret. There was 2 chairs that went with it. And I got it in my old apartment, which was so small. So I left the chairs behind and I think about them almost every single day because it could have been combined to like this whole unit. It would have been beautiful, but someone else has those chairs. So maybe if you're watching this, call me, leave a comment because I will buy those chairs. And yep, just a little table. I love a chrome lamp or a silver lamp. You'll see that as a little theme. And yeah, just some fun pillows, another light. Most of my lighting has been from Louis Poulsen, and I just love the team there. They're so nice to me. I don't know what I did to deserve some really cool lamps for free, but this is one of my favorite. It's the AJ floor lamp. Pillows, this is my friend Paige Wassell's brand, and she has really cool pillows. My coffee table is actually a dining table I put new legs on, and another Facebook Marketplace find. This is a thrift store find. This whole candle is actually wax on a stand, and it looks like a lamp. So I can turn that on and it just sets the mood because I love, like I said, cozy, warm lighting. And the curtains are one of my favorites. So usually they're closed because I do have 2 Chihuahuas that have gone to a friend's for the day because they would have been the star of the show and it's my turn to be the star. But I just love these Nordic knot curtains. This yellow color with the rug just makes me happy. These chairs, also Facebook Marketplace, but I got them recovered. If you're in LA, downtown LA, there's so many reupholstered places. I just took these in my car, found someone, and it was done in 2 days, and it completely transformed them. I love a stripe, and the colors are just cool. And then this wall is bookshelves, fireplace. It actually does work. It's a gas fireplace, which I love to put on in the winter. I do have a little screen that I'll put out because my dogs love to sleep right next to it. And again, these were all white and I painted them to kind of transform it a bit. And they're full of books. I love coffee table books. I love design books. I love to read, but I need to read more. I'm just always too tired to read. I actually made this piece of art. I really have a hard time finding large scale art that I love and that's not $5,000. So I've been playing around with art and you'll see it across my whole place, other pieces I've made. So I don't know, I get vulnerable with my art because I never know if it's good or not, but people seem to like it. I feel like people are their own worst critics, but I think it's good. Built the frame too. And yeah, I just have really thrifted and collected everything. These are actually lamps that I found years apart that I cut the cord off and have a remote controlled light bulb. So I always had one and then I found its pair years later in a different state. And you'll also see around my apartment a bunch of little stools and benches. I don't know, I have a soft spot for them. They make me happy, I think they're cute. And if you're wondering where my TV is, I do have a TV and you'll see it later. It's on a rolling stand because you'll see my bedroom, I can't mount a TV. And here I didn't really want a TV over the fireplace. So I have one TV on a roller and I can roll it into the office / guest room, my bedroom, and in here. So when people come over or when I'm not using it, it's stored away, but I really love that hack. So I have one TV and I can use it in any room and I can put it at the foot of my bed and it feels like this cozy movie theater experience. And that's how I spend most Sundays. But this room, yeah, I really love it. It's really cozy. Maybe in my next space, I want like a huge cozy couch and more of a sitting room, but hey, that's down the line. Rent prices are crazy. As I mentioned, I got tons of stuff on Facebook Marketplace, and my advice for that is obviously always be polite, but be aggressive in a polite way. You can't just wonder and ponder and think about it for a few days. You really have to go get it. And another advice is I use Lug, which is like an Uber for furniture. So if you don't have a big car, if you don't have the time to drive 40 miles or something like that, Lug is a service you can pay for people to pick up the furniture and drop it at your doorstep. They'll bring it in, they'll put it together, and it's a lifesaver. So I was always deterred, like, how am I gonna get that? That's not gonna fit my car. When I got that couch, I had to rent a U-Haul, and I wish I knew about Lug then. So be polite, act fast, And if you can't pick it up yourself, if that's holding you back, use lug. I would describe my design style as eclectic. I don't think any two things have to be too similar. I love a really modern piece on an old vintage piece. I really love to combine different styles. I love things that are really modern, mid-century modern, but I also love really old antiques. I also have a lot of thrifted ceramics. I feel like if you just shopped all at one store, your personal style wouldn't be elevated or the way you like it. It's gathering things from travel, thrift stores, home stores, and just really taking things you love and making them yours. Some of my social media is commenting on bad home style or different home styles or just overly trendy, mass-produced styles. You might recognize me from them. So since I dish it, I can take it. You can leave comments if you want. But I kind of just do that to encourage people to be more authentic to themselves, not follow trends. It's like the fast fashion of home. It's just not sustainable and people are swapping things out. And I've learned from my own mistakes. So I kind of make fun of myself and apply it to my content. And it's just kind of to motivate people to be more individual, really go after what they like, not what everyone else is doing, and take it easy and slow. I think people just try to have everything done in one day. I've been here for almost 2 years and I hung up a painting this morning. So everything takes time. I just encourage people to wait for the right thing, not just get anything, order, get it the next day, and then have it fall apart. Yes, you might recognize me from doing my home decor icks or designing a room for my worst enemy, but hopefully they're with good intention and hopefully people understand that. Some people don't, and that's fine, but I'm just here to help because I wish someone had helped me when I made those mistakes in the past. All right, now we can head over to the dining room, which honestly is probably the most used room. Okay, here we are in the dining room. And this room, like I said, gets used a lot. And I think maybe because it's actually the center of the home, it's between the kitchen and the living room. And I really love it in here. Something I love about it is my ceiling that I painted this warm cognac color. I mean, it's actually called warm cognac. That's just also a great way to describe it. I had originally painted my hallway this color, and I painted the walls and the trim. I was actually inspired by this house called the Schindler House. It's actually in Los Angeles. Those mid-century modern screen slider doors, they're usually fabric with wood trim. So that is how I came up with the wall color and trim, and I thought the ceiling needed something. So I painted it this bold color, and I'm super happy with it. And also my newest addition is this another Louis Polisson light. I thrift a lot of things, like I said, so sometimes things can feel too much too old or too one style. I love to bring in a modern touch, and this bright white modern light transform this room. Usually I'm uneasy about design decisions right away. Like I'm like, did I do the right thing? Should I have kept it that way? Should I have kept the original light? But this instantly, I was like, I love it. I'm so happy. Yeah. And this table, we sit at it, we play games, we eat dinner at it every single night. We have friends over. I love to host people. And there's always a chapstick nearby, a good candle. This is actually a fun little lighter with my name engraved on it. Like I said, I like everything to be cute. This was my grandma's lighter cover, and I just think everything can be a little moment. My chairs are all, again, Facebook Marketplace, 3 different times, like 3 different purchases. I didn't get them all at once. Actually, pretty much years apart. So I really love them. This is probably my favorite chair I have. I think it's just so cool, and it's really, people are probably like, that's so uncomfortable. But it's not. It's good. And it all sits on this gorgeous chocolate brown Nordic knots rug. People on the internet, on my TikTok, love to comment how I love the color brown, and I love a solid brown rug. And this is the best of the best. And in this corner, we have a photo taken by my partner, Rodrigo, and we framed it. He's a great photographer. He sells his photography. And I love to put his art, and that's collaborative, and he's so talented, and I think having personal touches makes your house yours versus just getting something that everyone else has. So some candles set the mood. And then this is also one of my favorite pieces of art. It's a framed picture of my mom's childhood kitchen right alongside my kitchen. Thrifted frame, just a photo of her kitchen in the 60s, and it's really special. I love my mom. She's my best friend. And over on this side, we have this credenza, and it stores some blankets. I love blankets, but my chihuahuas love them more. And this is, again, more coffee table books. We have a beautiful AC unit. We're gonna keep it real. I don't have air conditioning. And my other windows are shutter system windows. So this is one of the only windows in my whole apartment that can have an AC unit, and I run hot, and that thing gets good use. And I was thinking maybe I'll take it out and hide it for this tour, but I like to keep it real. Some people have to have AC units, and I'm one of them, and it's fine, it's great. Some more vintage chairs. This one I actually thrifted recently, and when I was taking it out of my car, I noticed my initials were engraved on it, and it was perfect. And I love the look of it. It has 3 legs, some dog toys, of course, and then this is another piece of art I made that I'm experimenting with, adding fabric. I dyed all the fabric, cut it, I sewed into the canvas, I did some paint, pastels. I've been working on that for a while. This is what I hung today because, again, I was like nervous to put my art on display, but I think it looks cool. I don't know, you guys have to tell me. And yeah, that's my cozy dining room. And next up is the kitchen where I have a lot of things I collected in. Now we're in the kitchen, and this is what made me love the apartment is these cabinets. And I think a lot of people do on my TikTok say, those are the worst cabinets, and I disagree. They're the best cabinets. If I were to do a new build, my cabinets would be pretty similar to this. And it also has this amazing little nook that maybe people would use as a bar. I don't drink, but I do drink a lot of coffee. And I do host guests, so I have some drinkware, but I have thrifted and collected pretty much I would say everything in here. From the cookbooks to really cool mugs like this one. I love this one. I mean, how special is that? I think this was $1. I don't know. There's just so many in here. Probably too many, but I'm always giving them as gifts. I just got this one, and this is going to my mom when she visits. I know she'll love it. And yeah, it's full of a bunch of stuff collected from Mexico City and then mostly LA. But when I go to like any location, I'm looking up at the thrift stores and I'm packing them in my suitcase, wrapping them in socks and bringing them home. This was a recent find, these blue. I need to have like a little tea party or something soon. So if you guys want to come over for a tea party, let me know. That would be fun. And I'm also a big supporter of decorating your fridge. Put your children's art on it, photos. Where else would these go? A drawer. And I collect magnets. I try to find cool ones, but sometimes the tacky ones are the best. This is the island. I'm happy to have an island. We don't sit at the island, we mostly prep. And I always like to put fun florals. I love fruit. Like I said, health is wealth. I love to always have some fruit. And again, a good smelling candle. This is Boy Smells. Yeah, this one's really good. And over here, these floating shelves came with the apartment. I did paint the walls green, but again, this is more ceramics I've thrifted. Eventually, when I build my own kitchen or my final home I'm gonna be in, which I don't know, I change my mind a lot. I just want shelves full of different ceramics I've thrifted or gotten. Again, Mexico City, but most of this is just LA thrift stores. I used to live in Colorado, going to Colorado, small towns, Arizona, Santa Fe, different places in California. Anytime I do a road trip, I look for Goodwills. I stop, I take the time because you really never know what you're gonna find. And here's a little baby photo of me. Love the stripes. And yeah, I have a lot of baby photos of myself. Eventually, if I have kids, I'll maybe swap them out. But again, the personal touches. What else would I put in that frame? I love stainless steel kitchens. If this was built by me, I would have the countertops and backsplash be stainless steel. But I recently found this on Amazon, believe it or not. And if you have a countertop you don't love, you can put these on and I prep food on it. And again, just some more mini chairs. Love them. My dogs drink out of this stone quartz bowl. And yep, they have to have a cute dog bowl too. This is really chic. It's really heavy too. My boyfriend, Rodrigo, loves to bake. We have a KitchenAid hidden, but yeah, he loves to bake. We cook pretty much every single night. LA does have a lot of good restaurants, but we're always in here cooking. We sit at the table. He's always in here baking. I should have had him bake some stuff for today, but I didn't want him making a mess. I am a clean freak. I'm a Virgo. I love things to be clean. I love things to be organized. Organizing is like my dream activity on the weekend, and cooking and baking is his. Getting into modeling and design was always a dream of mine. I grew up in Connecticut, and I actually was not the healthiest child. I never played a sport, and I never really saw myself being in front of the camera. I always wanted to do hair or interior design. I actually have a cosmetology license, but growing up as a queer kid, I kind of hid all my passions as a fear of being made fun of. In my small town, everyone kind of just went to a really good college, worked in business, wanted to picket fence. That was a goal, and I thought I had to be like that. But my mom, she worked in design. She always wanted me to blow dry her hair. She motivated me to go to cosmetology school. We started flipping house projects together, and I kind of just got inspired to be myself, went on a health journey, because health is wealth. It's not even about the way you look, just being healthy is key for everything. And I moved to LA trying to find a job in interiors, started making content on social, and it kind of just fell into my lap, and I'm really, really lucky and happy and excited, and it's still new. It hasn't even been a full year of me doing this full time, so a lot more to come. Now we're gonna go through my warm cognac hallway to the primary bedroom. So here is the bedroom, which is definitely moody. At golden hour, the lighting in here is impeccable, but if it's a little moody right now, that's because the sun's not hitting it. And because behind my bed, I have this huge curtain wall with a really cool gold curtain, because the layout of this room, you'll see the built-ins after, there was nowhere to put a bed. So I did have to cover a window, which I think a lot of people disagree with, but I love the curtain wall. I think it's cozy and moody. And as I've gotten older, I really only come in here to sleep. I don't hang out in here. I used to just be a person that's always in their bedroom, but my dogs hang out in here more. They'll unmake the bed and go under the covers and sleep there all day. And this is a big king bed. We're 4 boys with the dogs sleeping in here every single night. So a king was essential. And it's this nice green leather. And then we have these bluish stone nightstands. This room again is small, so I had to find a really small nightstand. I don't really need storage in them. I have the bathroom. There's a little cubby. I keep my eyeglasses, some chapstick, and again, Louis Poulsen lights. 2 art pieces made by me. And then on the other side, this artist made this for me, and it has some fish on it. I hope we can see it. And on this side, we have some doors to a Juliet balcony to my backyard. So usually there's a shadow that casts of this whole iron gate in the room. It's really cool. And then this is the closets. These built-ins were here. They were covered in little kid stickers, and I had to take them all off. And I think this square was for a box TV. And I didn't really know how to style it, so I thrifted these boxes. This one's actually my dad's. I'm a junior, so we have the same initials. So he gave this to me, and it's just full of little pictures and cards and love letters. And recently in LA, there was fires, and I had to evacuate. And really all I took were some clothes and these boxes, because they're full of all my personal memories. But yep, keep the clothes in here. I do wish I could have a dresser, because as someone who loves to organize workout clothes, socks, underwear, all have to fit in these too, which is rough, but I keep it minimal, only keep the things I really wear, and maybe it's like a sign that I don't need to collect as much things, but hopefully one day I'll have a dresser. That's about in here. I did paint the walls, I painted the ceiling, I painted the door, and this is Bamboo Shoot by Bear. And I love the color and some lightings that looks more gold than green. And I did swap out all the lighting, every single light fixture in here. I did swap out, and it's surprisingly way easier than you think. If I can do it, anyone can do it. And then again, the rug. I love a solid rug. This is the same brand as the one in my living room, just in a different color. And I keep it kind of tonal with the bedding, and this pillow on my bed, I actually got made. Again, in LA, you can just go to fabric stores and pick a fabric and be like, I want a pillow this dimensions, and they call you a few days later and you can go pick it up. And I think it just ties in the color of the curtains, the bedding, the headboard, the walls perfectly. I keep it simple on the bed. I don't love a lot of craziness. I like everything that's relaxed and easy. And this is what's relaxed and easy for me. I think a comfortable bed starts with the mattress. I never had a good mattress until I upgraded to the king bed. I have an avocado mattress and I love it. I think my sleep was transformed. It changed my life. My sister recently visited and took a nap in my bed and was just like, I'm buying that mattress. We also have some good Casper pillows, a duvet, and like I said, I run really hot. So honestly, I'm usually just sleeping with the sheet because my dogs end up being my blanket. But yep, just a duvet and some good pillows, but start with a good mattress. And this is my first time ever having a bathroom right off my bedroom, which is so nice because I drink a lot of water and I get up, go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and it's nice that I have to go literally an inch. So in here, this is actually the last room I've really made over. And we had some rains in LA, had some damage, so they repaired the drywall, so it was the perfect time to paint. I love the vanities this place came with, the hardware I love, the faucet I love, and I pretty just keep it simple in here. I love to collect jewelry, bracelets specifically, so I have my jewelry box. This candle is pretty special. When I hit my 1 year sober, my friend got it for me, and if you have a Le Labo candle, they always put the date on it. So that was a few years ago, or I'm almost 3 years sober. So it's a special candle to me, and now I only light it on the anniversary. It smells really good too. Again, some baby photos. This is my boyfriend, Rodrigo. This picture is just so funny, so it makes me happy. Just have a little medicine cabinet here. Again, just this one is really simple. I wanted one room to be bright because I do content creation. So if I want to do a little skincare video, I do it in here because my other bathroom, super moody. And one thing I do that, saying do in the bathroom, but I don't have real bath mats. These are vintage rugs from Etsy. I've never had a problem. They've been way more absorbent than any bath mat I've ever used. And once in a while, I'll take them in my backyard, hose them off, let them dry for a day to clean them. And I love the way it looks. How much cuter is this than a real bath mat? And I am so lucky to have 2 bathrooms, so I don't ever have to fight over it. And I love to have guests. So this is my moody bathroom. Yeah, so this bathroom is painted color drenched. So color drenched is when you paint the walls, the trim, the ceiling, the walls. I already said the walls, but all the same color. So really going for it. You don't always have to do the exact same tone, but I really tried to paint every inch of it. And I went with this dark brown. I originally went with like a chartreuse gold color, and it looked really bad. I guess I was really inspired by the bathroom doing yellow and brown, but I love the brown. I love these towels by Tekla. These are really nice towels, but I wish I had them in my main bathroom, but they just look so perfect in here. I have to keep them in here. And again, just more thrifted pieces, jars like this for Q-tips and stuff like that. Way better than those acrylic ones you can get at like Marshall's, Home Goods. Those are great for in a cabinet, but I always like to display cute stuff. And right here is one of the first things I ever thrifted. I got this when I was in high school with my mom, and it's a little first aid kit, and that's what I use it for. I store medicine, vitamins, and all stuff like that. And yeah, it's really cute in here. Just some art on the walls. These photos are actually of my partner and I, baby photos. We edited them the same way to make them look cohesive in these really cool big stainless frames. And we're both doing silly faces. And usually when people come over, that's their favorite thing. I've debated swapping them out, but I feel like at this point, they're like a staple of my home. And yeah, again, having a second bathroom, feel really, really, really lucky to have that. And I love it in here. It's such a vibe. Dinner parties, people use this bathroom, always have a candle lit, and it just makes me happy. Favorite room, I think that might be my office space, and I think it's my favorite because I really collaborated with my boyfriend, Rodrigo. We've been together for almost 4 years, and pretty much everything in here I did on my own, but I let him have a voice in there. Well, not let him. He's not very into interiors, but he does have a really great style, and he's very cultured. He's from Miami. His first language is Spanish, so he gives a different perspective than I would have. And I think when we mesh those two together, it really made a beautiful space that's out of my comfort zone, but it really makes me happy when I go in there. A home tip I have that I use religiously is be intentional. I think everything can be cute or a moment. Not everything has to be. It kind of contradicts itself. I don't think you need a hot pink outlet cover, but I think you could have really cool forks, if that makes sense. I don't even want in my cabinets to be full of boring white ceramic porcelain dishes. I really want something that excites me. So when dinner parties happen, the plates are cool, the napkins are cool, the forks are cool. So I'm really intentional with my purchases, and I'll wait till I find the right thing. I often find myself always having to wash forks and spoons because I'm running out, but I don't want to just go get some at a store that I don't love. So what I practice is be intentional with your purchases and make sure you love everything. You can love everything down to a soap dish, a soap dispenser, a hand towel. I even try to find cool tweezers. So maybe I'm a little crazy with it, but it's fun. Lastly, the office/guest room, which I said is my favorite room, so we saved the best for last, and I'm excited for you to see it. All right, so we've made it into the office. This is one of my most recent transformation. There used to be a huge bed in here, but I repurposed the bed, and I'll show you that. But like I was talking about earlier, we have the TV on a stand that we wheel around the house. It's really convenient. And in this room, I have this gorgeous auburn colored rug that contrasts this bright blue, baby blue ceiling, which was really bold for me, but my boyfriend went to UNC Chapel Hill. He loves this color. And I was like, let's just go for it. And we put it on the ceiling, and I love the way all the colors go together, especially with these curtains. They are brown and yellow, which again, I guess I really love that color combination. And they just look so elevated in my opinion. And again, the Facebook find of my dream, because I love to organize, is this huge cabinet, $40, and I'm obsessed. It just is full of all the essentials. I have a lot of hobbies. Again, licensed cosmetologist, so there's scissors, hair products, hair tools, all my tools for like my DIYs. What's in here? Yeah, like some wrenches and stuff like that, as well as beauty products, art supplies. This was just a dream find, $40, swap the knobs. I hang some art on it, and then above are all these different design books. And how fun are these vases? I thrifted these all at 3 different times. Palm Springs, Arizona, and I think Connecticut, and they're all the same artist. So that's pretty cool. I think I've seen these in like restaurants. It says restaurant in a different language on it. And then recently, my new addiction has been auctions. And I got this lamp for like $15 at an auction. It's cool. You tap this little end piece to turn it on and off. I don't even know how that technology works, but I find it really cool. We have a little table in the middle that I do arts and crafts on. This gets moved when I put an air mattress down for guests. And then again, we have some more built-ins. I'm not a big, huge supporter of peel and stick anything. I just think embrace what you have. But like I said, there were tenants in here before that kind of went crazy, and this tabletop was destroyed. So I did wrap this in a little stainless peel and stick. And I mean, it's not perfect. I could have done better, but I love the way it looks. Another photo by my boyfriend, more magazines. I am a huge Miley Cyrus fan. Anytime she's on a magazine, I go support her. And yeah, this lamp is also a flea market find. My friend got the other one because we couldn't leave it behind. And there's few pieces of decor my boyfriend's brought in. He recently put this little fisherman, which is fun. The blue matches, so we'll give him that. And here we have this whole wall unit that I built myself using my old bed. So this is a piece of it. This is also a piece of it. Just got some IKEA legs and brackets and made this shelf and desk combo because my partner works from home, I work from home, and this wall has become my favorite thing in my whole apartment. So another photo by my boyfriend and another piece of art I made. Some Nat Geo magazines. This was a gift from my partner. A cool frame. This is actually my mom as a kid and some picture she had that I just ordered a custom mat and framed it. I love a big mat with a small photo. And yeah, we just work here. So little lamps, a lot of different cool pens, stuff to keep organized. We are both people who write stuff down all the time. So like we use these notebooks all the time. We have in there drawers of notebooks. We're always writing things down. I don't really type anything. I use an actual calendar, which I love. And yeah, more candles. This is a tomato scented one, which is one of my favorite scents. I love the smell of tomato leaf candles. So if you haven't smelt one, I encourage you to do that. But yeah, this is just more stuff I've traveled and collected. Got this in Greece. And this little guy has a funny story actually. My friend Ethan, he does social media content too. You might know him. I saw this at the thrift store and he had a little partner. And sometimes the LA thrifts are overpriced. I think this was like $25. So I didn't want to buy both. $50 for little figurines that have no use. So I got this one and I always was like, I should have got the other one. So then I went to his house a few days later and he had gotten the other one and we didn't even communicate. We just both had the eye for it. So we're happy we both have them. But again, I love this. And as I was saying earlier, everything can be a cute moment. This little ceramic paper bag to hold pencils. You don't need to get something boring. A ceramic for your pens. This one's actually cool because it has different colors written on it. And I thought that was perfect to put colorful markers in. And I also love these mini frames with pictures of my dogs as puppies. So these are really, really cute. I got these at a thrift store. Of course, that's where I spend most of my time, clearly. And the chairs here, I have two in my dining room. They're actually stackable, so they're really great. If I'm not gonna use them in here forever, I'll have extra dining room chairs. And I think they're just beautiful. I love mixing metal and wood. My followers know that. They know that any furniture that mixes metal and wood, I usually really, really love. Even your extension cords can be cute. Even the extension cords. I love this bright yellow. There's a few brands on the market that have really cool ones. And I'm saying that extension cord excites me. Do anyone get excited by extension cords? No, probably because they're not bright yellow. Even the dog's bed. Come on. They look like little princes when they're sitting on this, perched on this. This room also gets the best lighting, so I film a lot in here, and my dogs love it because they just would sunbathe all day if they could. And talking about the built-ins again, they came with these really cool knobs. I think I was really lucky in finding this place. I saw through the damage and distress, and I really love these wood built-ins. I think this is a great way to do closet systems versus just having like a mirrored little closet door. I love these. I think people can do these with IKEA. I think this is a great way to build wardrobes. If you're in a room with not a lot of storage, like in New York City, I would do something like this. And then again, I like to prop this door open. This is an old house, so this door will just shut on its own, and my dogs will be locked in here. So I have this old suitcase I thrifted that I prop the door open with, and I gotta get this tattooed on me. As you can see, I have a lot of tattoos. I think I have to find someone to tattoo this on me. This is probably one of my favorite things I thrifted just because I just think it's stylish and cool and nostalgic and beautiful, and it's used as a doorstop. What home means to me is basically everything. It's my comfort zone. It really needs to be cozy and warm. I just want to make memories in here. I always think about how when you're a kid, you think about your life in the future, or you watch movies, and people often forget that like that is happening right now. So people could be stressed about designing a home or making their home, but this is your human experience. This is what you're watching in the movies when people are painting a room with Chinese food on the floor, laughing, listening to music. So that's how I kind of taken this journey, and I try to remember, this is my one life to live, so I want a warm, cozy place, and just a place that I can bring friends to, that people are happy and comfortable in. I have a playlist, songs I listen to in my future home, but I kind of am in my future home, so I have to always remember that. So home is just an exciting part of your life, and I think people often overlook that and just fill it and take it for granted. I used to, but yeah, you're making your own movie, so just kind of be the main character.
Hey Homeworthy, I'm Kitty Rheault. Welcome to my apartment in Los Feliz. Come on in. You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
I'm Kitty Rheault. I'm an interior designer and prop stylist. Welcome to my apartment in Los Feliz. It's a really quaint, cute little town, very walkable in Los Angeles, California. When we first moved into this apartment, we actually found it from across the street. We lived diagonally outside our current kitchen window, and we were looking for a change, and the grass was greener on the other side. We found this place from a little sign on the front lawn and came in, saw the crown molding, and it totally sold us. We have a 1950s two-bedroom apartment. We have a lot of details in the apartment original to the 50s. So we have the linear crown molding in the living room, and we have a bit of a landlord special slash updated kitchen. And then we have original tile from the 1950s in our bathroom. My personal opinion, the best color scheme in the entire building. My husband and I have lived here for about 5 years now. My husband and I sold pretty much everything we owned from our last apartment. We kept a couple staple pieces, but we were ready to move on to more of a passion project of an apartment. We gathered more pieces over time when we moved in here. Lots of flea markets, lots of vintage finds, things off Etsy, things off Marketplace. Really took our time to get it to where it is today, but it's a pretty consistent, evolving process in this house. Welcome to my living room. We really wanted to focus on having enough seating for our friends. We host a lot of dinner parties, have people over, the pop-in moments. Didn't all want to be crammed on the sofa together. It gets a little too intimate in those moments. So when my husband told me that he was going to be heading from Connecticut back to the West Coast with a band he was touring with, they had some extra room in their trailer attached to the truck. So I immediately called my mom and my sister, and we are lucky enough to still have my grandmother's house in our family. And there are a few pieces in there that I've just been dying to have. So we got these Danish Wagner chairs. We have 4 of them, but can only fit 2 at the moment. But we've really made the moment count, and I pretty much have every day's morning coffee in this space. Our wonderful pillows were sourced from my mom, actually. She is a frequenter of the Brimfield Flea Market in Massachusetts, which we usually try to get home to jump on, but we didn't make it this year. But so she got a bunch of these pillows for me. I just kind of gave her our style, our colorway, and she picked out a few things, and they've kind of ebbed and flowed throughout the house in different ways. My prized possession in the current moment is this planter that I actually just put together by gluing 2 bowls from Daiso and then sourcing a little plant to put into it. I had seen these on Pinterest, and they were about $2,200 for each piece. And so I was ready to make it happen for myself. Our son, Dustin, this is our glorious tree named after the gentleman who grew him in Venice, California. This is the one plant that somehow has made it through our entire marriage and has not died or even gotten sick, knock on wood. These incredible lockers, I say incredible because they're from IKEA and they're the thing I keep trying to get rid of, but we have really struggled to let go because they just serve so many purposes. To give the lockers a new life, I went on Etsy and found these cool tassels to put on the little keys. We have since lost one of them, but we've made it work. Luckily, they're all the same lock. Our belongings on it kind of ebb and flow again, depending on what we come home with at different times in our travels. But right now we have part of our book collection, this vase that I got stuck with from a job, a nice Amazon special that they didn't make me return. And I thought, how do I make a sad beige vase look a little bit more like us? And so I actually just took out my acrylic paints and gave it a little come up. So the pattern is a kitty original. Fresh flowers always. We have to have fresh flowers. If I'm headed to the flower market for a job, I always try to throw in a couple extra bushels to bring home for myself. Otherwise, even just the grocery store or when we go to the farmer's market, little bouquets always come into the house with us. These incredible candlesticks are vintage. I actually ordered them from a vendor also on Etsy who is in upstate New York. And I found them for, I think, like $20, but they're so cool. And they have these really cool gemstones on them. And kind of always look a little bit different depending on which way the little spiral is turning. And I'll change out the color of the candle again, depending on what's going on in the house. The bar car is kind of a evolution of love. We really just don't have cabinet space to put our bar items, but we've now expanded and brought in the cookbooks because you can't have enough of those. And another thing I think is so important is having a good scent throughout the house. So I do always have some incense or a candle, something just kind of burning in the house to kind of set the mood. And this particular location just tends to kind of go throughout the whole house. Right now, my husband and I are on a martini kick. So our neighbors have been coming over and we're actually doing olive exchanges now. So we will each kind of, whatever we have on hand at home, we'll bring to each other's apartments and kind of try out the cocktail using each other's brine and each other's olives and kind of see who's got the better one. And weirdly enough, through all the fancy olives that we've used, the grocery store ones seem to be the best at this point. This sofa has been reborn about 4 times for us now. It's the IKEA Soderham sofa, and we actually found it on Marketplace or Craigslist, like one of those things, at a house in Santa Monica. We rented a U-Haul, went and picked it up, and got new covers, cleaned it, and now we've got these semi-custom covers on it that add a little more excitement to it. We've moved on from the IKEA originals, although they're great too. We have had new cushions made. We love the size of this and how it fits in the space and the lowness to the ground, which is like a weird thing, but it's just so comfortable. The art behind me here is actually a signed lithograph that I found on Facebook Marketplace before it was cool. I went to a house with a friend in the hills of Glendale before I knew where that was and got it for about $30 with a broken frame. There's a little bit of water damage actually on the bottom, but when I took it to get framed, the framer helped me mat it and cover it, and it's numbered as well. So there's actually only about 50 of these, and it's my prized possession. And earlier in the year when we were a little bit nervous about what was going on in the state of California, this was one of the first things that I took off the wall and threw in the car just in case something happened. Our coffee table was pulled off the floor at a local shop, and I somehow miraculously got it into the back of my vehicle all by myself, and then also up a couple stairs into this apartment all by myself. And I'm still a little unclear on how that happened, but it was a nice surprise when my husband came home. And as much as we love to have a sit-down dinner when it's just the two of us, we're typically sitting on the sofa, enjoying our meal, watching a Gordon Ramsay show or Jeopardy. We have our kind of quick grabs on this table. So we've got like our favorite coffee table books, a really good candle all the time, our really sweet little coasters, because I'm a cat lady through and through, and now have taken my husband to the dark side. And then we've got our matches for said candle. And again, always fresh flowers, just a little pick-me-up to brighten up the mood. The rug was a really fun way for us to add some more color into the apartment. So when we initially moved in here, I was in a bit of a sad beige era and in what I think was the best interpretation of it. But I've now evolved to want more color, brightness, happiness in our home. Also, white rug just really doesn't do it for us in the room that we have to walk through to get anywhere else in this apartment. This bookshelf is for sure my prized possession. We keep our wonderful spotlight kind of pointed in that direction. We have collected so many wonderful things, and this particular piece really allows us to kind of show it off in an organized way. If you're familiar with the original IKEA piece, this is it. We did actually find this on Craigslist, I think, for about $50 like 5 years ago. And it has since become a retirement plan because I haven't seen any listed on there for less than $400. And the reincarnation is just not as good. But my husband put a fresh coat of paint on the shelves, and it's really worked out for us over the years, and again has gone through many iterations, but it's a great house for our record player, which we love to throw a record on the weekends, light the candle, make the coffee, have the breakfast, and just kind of vibe. We have a couple collections as part of this. So again, more art books. Can't have enough references for interior design work or even just vibes for our own place. When we can't travel, I feel like the books are it, right? This rock I actually found at a beach in Santa Barbara, and it was just too good to leave behind. So we gave it a good wash, and now it's a great bookend for us. We've got our trusty match collection. What's an LA apartment without a match collection? We've got matches from friends' weddings, matches from various restaurants, bars, and actually some of them are some that I inherited from a staging job I did a few years ago. An elderly woman who was moving into a new home, she had a whole collection of all kinds of restaurants, a few of which are still in existence. So it was really special to add to the pile. My second prized possession is my Gustav Westman spiral. I waited in line for probably 2.5 hours for this. And, 12 years into Los Angeles living, I'm really not a line waiter anymore, but I just had to. It's actually a record holder or magazine holder, so it does serve some purposes. Unfortunately, it doesn't fit them in here, so it's just sculpture in this moment. But our record collection is something that's also constantly evolving, and we kind of keep all the favorites nearby so that we can just grab them, throw them on the record player, and just hang out. So now we're in our dining room, which is really just a casual square. This area holds all our friends, and I swear we have more than 4. But we purchased these chairs when we moved in, went a little brighter in our kitchen, and I just recently had a little tickle of an idea. And so I went to my dear guy downtown in the Fabric District, picked out some really cool Ralph Lauren dead stock denim fabric, and then got this chartreuse linen and had the chairs reupholstered. So they've been reborn. And our cat really loves denim. She doesn't scratch them, which is great. She just rubs her sweet little body on them. So it's actually been, it's made for some really great photo moments with the cat, and also very comfortable and new foam. So many more dinner parties to come. Our kitchen table is from Anthropologie. It's really just like a really cool travertine top. Love a stone moment, and I feel like it pairs really nicely with all of our dinnerware and vases and extra little things. We've actually been hosting some color-themed dinner parties with friends, and we'll just throw a color-appropriate tablecloth down, some good flowers, some fun plates and napkins, and we're good to go. One of the first things that we did when we moved into the apartment was replace the lighting. I think that's like a really easy renter-friendly hack. We found this particular light on CB2, and it's a remake of a vintage inspired light. But we had this installed, and I feel like it really changed the entire course of this like kitchen dining moment for us. Drapery is another thing that's really renter friendly and an easy way to kind of elevate your space with something that you can potentially take with you. So I also used a semi-custom vendor to have these striped drapes made, and you know, we're the house of 1,000 stripes. I've never met a stripe I didn't like, and it's becoming a bit of an issue. So we will perhaps move on to a different fabric at some point in time. But right now, we're all about the stripe, as you will see as we move to different rooms in here. But these were just cut to order. So they're pretty reasonably priced, and they'll definitely fit a couple different windows in this space if we wanted to change the patterns around. And hopefully we'll work in another spot in the future. This piece of art is very near and dear to my heart and has caused a little bit of drama in my life. I found this piece at the Rose Bowl flea market with a girlfriend of mine who got one by the same artist. What's really cool about it is that the guys who were selling it, they found this incredible pile of art at an estate sale in Encino in the Valley. And none of the pieces are signed, and they had no idea whose home it was. So we actually still don't know who made these, but there were at least 150 the day that I was there, and apparently there were more, but they were all different. I, of course, found the one with the gray cat, and so much to the disappointment of the professional framer, but the relief of my in-laws, this is not in fact me, but it does resemble. Our chrome vase was sourced simply online, but I have a real soft spot for chrome. If it's not stripe, it's chrome. And again, fresh flowers, I think just totally changed the space. These I went down to the flower market for. I love starting my day down there. It just smells so good, and there's so much inspiration and color stories. And even if you're not buying flowers, it's just an incredible space to see textures and movement and natural kind of grounding. I'm not much of a hiker, so going to the flower mart is grounding for me. Weirdly enough, the favorite thing about our home is that it's in the front of our building. We get incredible sunlight coming in the morning, and a bit of the sunset and the pink skies in the evening. We have a small balcony off the kitchen and our bedroom, so it really kind of shines in those morning and evening moments. And I'm a little nosy, so I love knowing what's going on in the neighborhood, and I feel like being at the front, we just know every dog's bark, we know the sound of every car alarm, every single little quirk of the neighborhood, and especially after being here for so long, a sound happens, and my husband, who kind of travels a lot, will be like, how do you know what that is? And now we're in the kitchen, which is just a pebble's throw from the dining area. Really, she's a hardworking girl in here. She's a hardworking girl. I can't say too much more, but we've had so many dinner parties and dinner prep in here, and somehow it always works, despite limited counter space, limited storage, renter, oven, all the landlord special happens right here in this space, but we've made the best of it. And my favorite part is our little windowsill here. This is where we're lucky enough to grow our own basil, which again, somehow haven't hurt yet. And we see our old apartment out through here. So we get to say hello. We get to be reminded of where we came from, our roots, while we're working hard to have the good life now across the street where the grass is greener. My best case of advice for when you're feeling a little bit limited in what you can do in your space, if you're renting or just in a space that's a little bit more temporary, it's all about the accessories and paint, which we have not done in here recently, but there have been a few iterations of paint in the little dining nook. But we really focused on art in here. So something we didn't want to do with paint was create a bigger issue on the cabinets that are probably 25 coats deep. So this piece is one of my favorite pieces that I found, showed some restraint on, didn't get, and then couldn't stop thinking about tomatoes and wine. So I zoomed back to the shop. That rest in peace is no longer, she's changed hands, but it was hanging in the back corner in the deep, dark, beautiful attic area. So I snatched that right up, and now it's perfect over our oven. We've got a few more collected pieces of art in here. This I purchased on a day spent with my sister at a museum in Beverly Hills. Just kind of made me laugh with all the online ordering I do for work and for life. It's just a reminder that I don't need it all. And then, another little trick is just framing little pieces that you see in a magazine or a catalog or just a postcard, anything like that. This was just a scene that I really loved and felt like the colorway worked, the composition was like inspiring to me. So I just threw it in a frame, and now it's in our kitchen, and it's been here for a few years. My design style is pretty refined, eclectic, I like to say. I'm really inspired by sculpture and art. A lot of the Bauhaus era and like French apartmento kind of style. As I've seen that evolve through social media and Pinterest and we have so much more access to seeing these examples, and it's been kind of recreated many times. So I really try my best to kind of put my own spin on these things, and while I'm taking interpretation from so many different styles and other places I've been or artists I follow, really kind of like reinterpreting it to be our own style and how we live in our space, and the like softness or hardness of items that we need to feel comfortable in our area. And that brings us into the bedroom. We've had some journeys in here stylistically. We just recently painted the walls back to kind of like a creamy, chalky white from the pink that you'll see on the ceiling. The pink is Faro and Ball Dead Salmon, which I just had to have mostly because of the name. But we're on a color journey in this room, and I'm just gonna tell you now, it's gonna change. It's not gonna be white for long, but we are enjoying the peacefulness, and once we put it over the pink, it actually kind of made this like warmer tone than what we were expecting, which has been really nice, and I feel like kind of reflects the ceiling a bit. The bedding is striped, surprise. Again, really working with what we've got. We are in the market for a new bed frame, a king size bed. This is another IKEA special, but we have made it into a different thing. I had a lot of extra fabric from our dining chairs. So I thought where better to bring in the stripe than the bedroom where we're having a full stripe attack. So I brought that into here and just draped a piece of the fabric over the back, and the bed has been reborn once again. It's new and improved. This gorgeous pillow, one of my favorites. This was actually custom made. Another thing that I found, some fabric downtown, fell in love with it and brought it to my dear friend Ernie, and he came up with this incredible pillow for me. So it's a really nice kind of neck support. The cat loves to kind of lean her little body up against it, and it's just an extra fun thing. This piece of art here was emergency sent to me by my sister just recently, who was trying to steal it out from under me. But it's actually my favorite color, chartreuse green, yellow. It was painted by my grandmother, my mom's mom. So artisans, it's running, the creativity is running in the family. I love this piece so much, and it brings a little bit, for being so inspired by sculpture and like harder finishes, it brings something a little bit softer into a space where we're really like kind of coming down at the end of the day. These lamps are another favorite of mine, another marketplace, Craigslist, one of those situations. I just recently painted them this blue color from some samples I had left over. But I bought these, I got new shades, I ordered these finials from an artisan on Etsy, and just kind of brought that like 80s style back to life in a 2025 way. This is kind of my personal favorite moment right now in our home. I've got this incredible little tiny but mighty piece of art by one of my favorite local artists, Kari Kroll. She's out of Pasadena. I use her for a lot of projects with my clients, and she makes these incredible pieces and really communicates well with the client to kind of get their energy. And I actually had purchased this for a job that it didn't work out, and I feel blessed that it has worked out in my space. This chair is a new addition. Bought it about a week ago at a wild yard sale where an entire neighborhood actually brought out all of these things, mid-city LA, and there were probably 25 houses selling things at this yard sale. So I went early, I brought my Venmo ready to go, and got this really, really cool vintage inspired chair. Not really for sitting, we'll say that, but it's gonna be good when we get the next stack of books in the house because I can't stop. And for now, it's just kind of an aesthetic moment in the corner. Love having the freshness. Our cat nibbles on all the flowers. So the bedroom, she tends to spend a little more time in when she's sleeping her 23, 24 hours a day. So we went dry in here, but still live at one point. And my third favorite piece of art, it's hard, I keep saying they're all my favorite, but this is another favorite. And this I actually purchased at the mid-century modern sale at Modernica recently. And my biggest regret with this piece, and I think about it every day, is that there were two and I did not buy the second piece. The lighting in here is a fairly new addition to the room, but we really wanted to get rid of that classic apartment boob light situation. So we brought in, again, some like curvier shape, that softer kind of tone. And although we're not big fans of overhead light in general, sometimes you need it when you're packing a suitcase, when you're getting ready in the morning for your big work day ahead. Sometimes you just need that task lighting. So ultimately, we're calling it the interview light because it really does feel like you're under the wire in this moment. But I will say our gorgeous cat, who is too shy to show her face in this moment, she lays right here and she looks just an incredible glistening gray in the spotlight. So We're really happy with the addition, and I do think it kind of makes the room feel a little bit more complete as well. Come take a shower with me. Just kidding, this is storage. So we actually keep our crazy big fan, our silly things back behind this curtain here. Fools everybody. My husband made us this really cool little bath shelf, which we keep our extras on. So it's like a nice, easy grab when you're blessed with this absolutely awful one drawer storage situation in an apartment. But joke is on you, because the shower is actually just in front of us here, and it's tucked away inside like a typical 1950s bathroom would be. Separate tub, separate shower. So this tile in here is actually all original. It's in pretty good shape. There's a couple chips, a couple little divots in the tile, but it has really lasted. And we've now that we've made friends with our other neighbors, no offense to anybody who's might be watching this, but I do feel like we might have the best color combination. There is a pink and maroon floating around that I wouldn't mind either. But this has been something that we actually feel really thankful to have, because we love the quirks and kind of like old energy of the original buildings. So this piece here is actually a Picasso-inspired portrait that my mom did years ago when our town did a like scarecrow themed Main Street. So everybody, businesses, local artists, people, you've heard of the painted cow situation perhaps, but this was a scarecrow situation. So there is a nice big hole on his neck here, not a sign of violence, but in fact where his head was connected to his little straw body. Leaning into what you've got is the moral of the story. We really embrace the fact that there are some quirks and wild things in this apartment that we are ultimately going to have to deal with until we don't live here anymore. But in doing so, we've kind of found ways to embrace it. So I brought in some local artisans, again, more collected things, this beautiful vase from Lawson and Fenning, a gorgeous shell fossil that a friend gifted me for my birthday years ago that kind of doubles as like a little ring dish for us. And then one of my favorite things, speaking of quirks, is this zine that I picked up at the Marfa book sale last year. It's called Under Over, and it's actually a collection of toilet paper holders. So they're all created by artisans and just really unique little things. And I just thought kind of a fun bathroom read if you need it. This painting here, it's another Kitty original. I had some leftover pieces from a prop styling job that I hit my return limit. And framing's expensive, and I thought, how can I kind of utilize this canvas? And I really was in need of a piece of art for this space. So I just kind of went online, took some inspiration, looked at pieces in my art books, things like that, grabbed out my art collection, my paint collection, and whipped this up. Just, took 5 minutes, a little bit more. But it's great, and it's waterproof, so it's really nice in like a high moisture area to use acrylic or oil, things like that aren't going to peel or be damaged by the moisture of your shower or bath. The thing that I think makes our home come alive is all the little collections that we've accumulated over the years. We have a lot of things that are of sentimental value to us, whether it's been handed down from a family member or just pieces we've collected on memorable trips together. We do a lot of little like road trips within California. Always kind of, for me, it's the journey, not the destination. So we're always looking up little places we can pop off to. And doing that, you know, not only creates memories, but I usually find some sort of little tchotchke to bring home to add to my bookshelf or my prop collection, or give as a gift even. So it's kind of an ever evolving treasure trove in here. And I think I keep seeing the saying, like, if people aren't lined up at your estate sale, then what did your life even mean? Welcome to our home studio. This is a bit of a shared space for my husband and I, much to his disappointment, but we have his musician setup over here. He is a touring musician. He writes his own music, has his own project. And so a lot of his recording and you know, the beginning of everything starts here for him. So we've kept it organized, we've kept it inspiring, try to keep it clean and just creative for him. He's coming in here random times of the day when he is feeling like something's bubbling up. So this has been a really good place for him to get all of those things onto paper or recorded. He's got all his equipment over here, his pedals, which are made of new vintage. He's got 60s vintage guitars in here, which are his prized possessions. My personal favorite is the Guild over in this corner here. It's what I remember him first playing when we first met, and I was going to all his shows trying to show off. So that's my personal favorite, and it gets to be by all my things. The other half of our room here is actually my prop and interior design studio. So this is kind of where I keep all my little extra collections, things that are not part of like my personal stuff that's out and about in the apartment, but things I want to hold on to in case they're needed for a set design or to be sold to a client. So back on that IKEA, but you know, the semi-custom, we added some really cool wood handles on to the piece to just kind of, again, elevate it, get it looking a little bit different than everything we're seeing on the showroom floor, if you will. But these are incredible storage pieces for me, and this is welcome to my favorite shelf, basically. This is my favorite shelf. All my favorite things are in here. I just got these incredible glasses at a resale shop. I got the whole set, and they're actually all hand blown. So it's really cool because they have that area on the bottom where you can see where they were kind of cut from that hand blown pipe. So this room is very inspirational for both of us. My husband will lay in here, play the guitar, just kind of riff on something for a while. It's where I like to come in and kind of sit down and go through my inspiration, the different things that I've collected to kind of think about how I'm going to attack a job with a client, whether it be prop styling or interior design. So I do keep current projects kind of going in here. It's easy for us to close the door because the cat pulls all my samples off the sample board. So this is also problem solving for me, but it's a really nice way and place for us to keep like projects open. So whether it's music or it's design jobs, we can kind of close the door on things, but leave it out and then come back in when we're ready. In this particular room, we actually do share a wall with our neighbor. So in an effort to be conscious about the noise that's happening in here, whether it be drum samples, recording vocals in the closet, or just, you know, exchanging playlists, and mine is usually better. we wanted a little extra privacy. So we actually did another cool thing in here where we hung a track along the ceiling, and then we added some heavy canvas curtains, and there's actually some soundproof panels in the wall behind it. So it kind of, the wall looks a little janky when it's not covered. So this was another way for us to sort of give that elevation, keep it really calm and inspiring in here, but still offer privacy to ourselves and some respite from the beats to our neighbor. Home for me is a comfortable place. I have always been an advocate for making your house a home, no matter what point at life you're in, whether it's like your childhood bedroom, your dorm room, your shared apartment with 12 other friends. The biggest joke in our house is that my husband was sleeping on an air mattress for a year in his apartment, and when we got married and moved in together, he was just like so stoked to have an actual bed, and he really realized the importance of being able to come home to a space where you feel comfortable. And I feel like there's a lot of uncertainty in the world, in our day-to-day. We have bad days, we have good days. It's just so nice to be able to come back here and feel like it's ours. And you know, we're ready to leave a 2-bedroom apartment behind for a bigger house and a garage and some lawn and 2 sheep running through the yard. But at the same time, this place is so important, and every time we leave, we're so excited to come back here. Homeworthy, it was so nice having you in my space, showing you around, but I've got to go make dinner, so see you later.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.